Alright, welcome back to the Shreveport Connection. My name is Tommy, and I am doing your raw results from tonight's live broadcast, as well as your Tough Enough results, and also your Superstar spoilers for Thursday of this week. Okay, first I'm going to let you know some news. Santino Marella's leg was banged up during the match with Sheamus last Monday's Raw from London. Referee sent for an EMT, but before they could get out there, Santino hopped to the back on one leg. That part was shown on TV. The injury was enough to keep Santino off the Raw Live event in Cardiff, Wales, but he teamed up with Mark Henry and participated very little in the match. Okay, they had WWE tryouts in London, and here's an update from last week. Diva Dirt reported that WWE has signed 20-year-old British women's wrestler Brittany Knight after she had her second tryout at the SmackDown tapings in London last week, I should say. She had her first tryout match back in November of 2010. Her brother Zach also had a tryout last year and yesterday with WWE, during the week, but no word on yet if neither one of them was signed. Brittany, known as the Norfolk Doll, comes from a famous wrestling family in the UK known as the Knight Dynasty. She is currently Pro Wrestling Eve champion and made her debut earlier this year for the Shimmer promotion. Brittany Knight, a women's wrestler in the UK that bears a resemblance to internet sensation Rebecca Black, is not denying the online reports that she has signed an actual contract with WWE. She wrote on her Facebook page, "Whoa, thanks for congratulations, but I don't even know what's going on yet. Hopefully, those guys' fingers are crossed." She is currently reigns as a Pro Wrestling Eve champion. Participated in a tryout before WWE officials this week, before they came home to the United States, also in November. USA Network is teasing a shocking announcement for next Monday night's episode of WWE Tough Enough. And here's a preview for next week's show. Remaining contestants' agility session. Well, that's this week's. Tested as they are tasked with serving lunch to a busy crowd at a local 50s diner while on roller skates. Some are naturals on wheels, while others spend more time face painting than skating. Miss USA asked for a one-on-one help from last week in the last elimination, as she gets it in in the form of an in-ring beatdown from Bill DeMott. When time is up for elimination, the contestants are stunned by a shocking announcement from Steve. WWE Hall of Famer Bret Hart guest stars. Video recap from last week aired, including Michelle quitting the cheerleading challenge. It also showed the conclusion of the show with Rima being told she would get a one-on-one help and the elimination of Michael. Christina welcomed Rima back to the house, while the rest of the house mates took shots at Ryan and said they were sure he was gone. Ryan then walked back in, and the housemates were both relieved that they no longer had to compete with Mike, but wondered what Ryan has that would have kept him alive. Tough Enough Time theme then played as the show started. And this starts tonight's show. After the theme played, Rima was getting dressed to go for her one-on-one training with Bill. Training was to take place at midnight. Bill seemed concerned that Rima wasn't picking up the basics. She continued to struggle with rolling exercise. She bumped around a little bit with Bill, doing basic father slams in an attempt to pick up the basics. She got hurt toward the end when she attempted a roll-up on Bill, because Bill weighs over 300 pounds, and she maybe a $105-ish. Rima cried after the training, and Bill instructed her to think about if this was something that she wanted to do and to keep going. The video then aired that hyped a tough training session and a wild night out. Stone Cold walked into the training room and welcomed the contestants into the ring for their training session. He gave a brief introduction and praised Bret Hart as one of the favorite opponents. The video aired of his laundry list of accomplishments, and the contestants clapped and welcomed him. Luke especially was taken with him, and he called him a legend. Bret Hart said the most important thing he learned in wrestling business was agility. He always took pride in not injuring anyone he worked with, and told the contestants never to give up on their dreams and to work hard no matter how many people you wrestle in front of, whether it be 500 people for indie feds or thousands in attendance and millions watching around the world. Also mentioned that Booker T was not there this week. He reiterated the importance of agility and handed it over to Bill for the in and out drill. Contestants were told to jump in and out of the ring multiple times. Well, the ring they're talking about, the quarter turnbuckles, each one got in on the ring apron, had to jump over with a little twist and then jump out to the other side. Jump out, in, out, in, out, in. Going from one side to the other. That's one. They had to do it at least 5 times. Okay. Start off. Contestants were told to jump in and out of the ring multiple times. Martin was athletic, but had poor technique. Eric struggled mightily. Ivelisse and Rima tried very hard, but were unable to complete the drill. Because small divas don't have that much agility, so they were allowed to hit the second rope on the way down. Christina was by far the best female, and Luke and Jeremiah both showed great athleticism. A preview aired of the drive-in challenge that was coming up next. Bill stopped by the house and told everyone to meet down in the gym. He then instructed the contestants to get dressed and to go meet Trish. They ended up at Frisco's Bar and Grill for today's life lesson. The waitresses were on roller skates, and contestants were informed they would be getting a crash course on agility, and all they got dressed as car hops. All the contestants served food. Just about everybody took a spill, and Eric dropped about 11 plates of food on his platter that he was carrying. Trish gathered everyone and let them know that they all did pretty well. She thanked Frisco's for the use of their restaurant, and then everyone was able to get free drinks and to have a night out. All the contestants danced on the stage and took some shots. Rima got a little bit tipsy from all the drinks that she had, and she did a table dance. Jeremiah did a strip tease for some of the customers, and Andy decided to sit in the corner and pout about his commitment to sobriety, and even quoted from the Straight Edge Society quote, "I'm staying sober, I'm all straight edge." Video aired of the skills challenge, which was coming up next. Everybody bumped around with Bill for a moment before Stone Cold walked in, and he said that this week has been all about agility. And then Bill introduced a chain of moves that all contestants will have to do. Steve said the goal is to keep the drill moving rapid fire until someone screws up, and then they will be eliminated. Rima was the first to be eliminated after she screwed up a number of moves, and it appeared not to want to give it an effort. Eric was the next to be eliminated after he failed to do a leapfrog. Well, Rima couldn't do a leapfrog over her competition for that particular challenge. AJ and Christina ad-libbed the series and both got eliminated. Iva Lise and Ryan were eliminated next. Jeremiah was next, and he screwed up a hip toss. Andy was eliminated next, not because he failed, because Austin, though Luke and Marcus were better. Let's see. Luke and Martin continued the drill after the break. Bill commented that Luke was too selfish. It seems like that Trish and Bill favored Marcus, and then Austin said Luke was eliminated. Bill told Luke that he was eliminated because he did what he wanted to do rather than what he was told to do. Austin then excused himself, and the trainers went into the office to talk about the bottom three. And Steve mentioned that Ryan started out well but crumbled. He also said he wasn't impressed with any of the girls. All three trainers agreed that Rima likely can't take it, but that she had a lot of heart. Bill and Trish were asked for their bottom three, but they didn't answer on camera. Steve walked back into the ring and called out Rima. He said normally at this time they would select 2 other people. He told her that she was beautiful, smart, and she had a lot of heart, but that she's physically not able to do it. He told her that if she really wants a future in this business, she'd likely accomplish it, but not at this time. She wouldn't win tough enough. He told her to say her goodbyes and then leave her belt in the ring. Everybody complimented her on her commitment and on her heart, including Trish, who encouraged her to keep going. Back in the ring, Steve asked if Tough Enough was a good experience for her, and she said it was a great opportunity. He gave her a hug and told her to keep fighting, and that she has the heart to do whatever she pleases. Steve said he wished her well and hung up her belt to end the show. Main Event Radio was mentioning Stone Cold in something. He's been back in the squared circle rather frequently this summer in 2011. Currently hosting the reincarnation of Tough Enough reality show series, coming off a guest referee spot at WrestleMania. Now Austin is stepping into the boxing ring for his latest acting gig, straight to the DVD release entitled Knockout. In the film, Austin plays a former pro boxer turned school janitor named Dan Barnes. The film begins with the lead character, Matthew Miller, played by Daniel Magner, on his way to his first day at his new public school in a new city. Having spent years in a private school, Miller arrives in a suit and finds it hard to fit in. Attracting the attention of the resident school bullies, most notably the school boxing champ Hector Torres, Miller, meanwhile, has an interest in boxing for years, and his grandfather was once a successful boxer, but he never he thought about participating in a sport, as his somewhat overprotective mother has held him close through the years. Following a battle with leukemia as a child, Q Stone Cold's character coming in, who was a school janitor, stepping in during a bullying incident between Matthew and an aforementioned Torres. With the encouragement and tutelage of Austin's character, Matthew trains and gets his chance to face Torres in the annual box-off for a chance to make the school boxing team. About 30 minutes into the film, the reporter says it's hard to kick the feeling that he's seen in this film before. Then it dawned on me, this is a WWE film's legendary, but with boxing instead of amateur wrestling and Stone Cold instead of John Cena. The surrounding story might be slightly different, but at its core, they are identical movies, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, depending on what your personal thoughts of legendary. For those that didn't see it, this basically boils down to it's your typical inspirational family drama with a happy ending. Like many of the straight-to-DVD films Austin's done since leaving WWE films, he is given a tailor-made character to play so that it accentuates his acting positives and hides the negatives. Always been a big fan of Austin, and because of this, he did enjoy the film. Although he found the fact that the knockout is very similar to Legendary to be the somewhat amusing consideration that Austin had chosen to depart WWE films many years ago to chase his own career path, but has ended up doing the exact same films under various different banners. Then again, he probably would not have gotten his spot in the Expendables without being independent, but I disagree. DVD version of Knockout offers the little in terms of DVD extras. Additional copy option is included as well as the film's trailer, but nothing in terms of being behind the scenes footage of featurettes. Ultimately, I would call this a Reddit, but if you're a big fan of Austin, adding it to your collection won't hurt. Knockout starring Stone Cold Steve Austin hits the streets on DVD and Blu-ray April 26th, tonight midnight, or tomorrow, at most stores, with a suggested retail price of $29.99. Also be available by video on demand on Netflix and all the others. Check your local company for availability. WWE Superstars spoilers were for... Okay, these are the actual results from last week's show. They started off SmackDown. Brand matches, and your announcers are Jack Capella and Matt Striker. Match number 1, Tyler Rex versus JTG. Rex waits for the JTG to get ready to wrestle as he waits in the corner like Delirious or Goldust. JTG avoids charge from Rex and applies a side headlock. Rex misses a charge into the corner and JTG with a side headlock takedown. JTG with a waist lock into a side headlock. Tyler back, JTG in the corner. Tyler with the punches to JTG and the referee pulls him out of the corner. So these are the actual results from last week. JTG with shoulders to Rex, followed by punches. Then he has something to say to Rex. JTG with a drop, toe hold, followed by a drop kick, and Rex goes to the floor to regroup. And everybody thinks it's strategy. Rex comes back into the ring. JTG with a knee, and he comes back in and he sends back Rex to the turnbuckles. Rex turns up, returns to the floor. Rex with a forearm to the back, followed by a knee. Rex with a slam. He then slaps JTG. Then out of a belly to back suplex attempt, he takes Rex into the corner with a shoulder. JTG tries to float over, but JTG is caught by Rex, and Rex drives JTG into the mat. Rex with kicks and tries to work on the abdomen. Rex gets a near fall and then applies the body scissors. Rex with an elbow to the head before releases the hold. Rex with a gourd buster for a near fall. Rex with a chin lock, arm bar to JTG. Rex charges at JTG and drops him down. Rex goes over the top rope to the floor again. JTG to the apron, but Rex trips JTG on the apron. They cut to commercial. So obviously this seems like the best match of the night, and a better match of JTG. Back from commercial, Rex is still in control of the match, and he kicks JTG in the corner. Rex tries for a slam, but JTG escapes. Gets a near fall with a roll up. Rex stands over JTG and then puts JTG in a tree of woe. Rex with kicks and JTG tries to block it. Rex charges into the corner. JTG falls out of the corner. Rex goes into the ring post. JTG gets a near fall. Rex charges into the turnbuckle again, and JTG with another near fall. JTG drops Rex's arm on the top rope, and then JTG with a sliding uppercut and a flying back elbow. JTG with a kick to the top of the head, and hits a running back elbow into the corner. JTG leaps into the corner for the X Factor, but Rex catches him. JTG is able to counter with a DDT and gets a near fall. JTG with a front face lock, but Rex runs him into the turnbuckle, and he gets JTG up for the burning hammer. Hits it for the 3 count. Winner of the match, Tyler Rex. Then they go back and look at the career of Edge highlights. Maurice is walking in the back, and they cut to commercial. After commercial, it's time for the Raw portion of this week's show. Announces Josh Matthews of South Stanford, match number 2. Maurice versus Natalya in a battle for Canadian supremacy. Winner's Maurice. Natalia hit a running power slam for a near fall. Maurice retreats to the corner, and Natalia with a face wash, and Maurice screams. Referee stops Natalia and Maurice with a slap, and then she hits the DDT and gets the 3 count. Well, I guess a distraction. Commercial break. Then they're back from the break with a Raw rebound. Match number 3, Ted DiBiase Jr. versus Mark Henry. Seems like an obvious squash match. Mark Henry ends the show with a win. Ted come off the top. Here's the finish. Ted come off the turnbuckles. Henry catches Ted, hits the world's strongest slam for a 3 count. Looks like an obvious about 4 or 5 minute match. And the dark match for tonight's show was in Raleigh, North Carolina. Saw JTG defeat Tyson Kidd. Zack Ryder beat David Hart Smith. Smith comes out wearing a cowboy hat. This is North Carolina, not Texas. Very slow and boring match. Only cool spot was a superplex to Ryder, who won with the Rough Rider. So, I guess this one's on TV. And your Superstars matches for Thursday. Natalya and Gail Kim defeated Melina and Alicia Fox. Entertaining match. Gail pinned Alicia after hitting Eat Defeat finish. Daniel Bryan suffered what was believed to be a concussion on April 16th Raw live event in Birmingham, England. It was kept off the Raw tapings in London last week for precautionary reasons. Bryan was apparently examined, and it was determined that he was able to compete as he wrestled Sheamus at the April 19th show in Wales. Okay, with season 5 of NXT currently going on, it's important to note that season 3 winner Caitlyn is barely featured on TV and still hasn't received her Divas title shot that she was guaranteed after winning the show. Also, season 4 winner Johnny Curtis still hasn't been brought to the main event roster or received his tag title shot with his pro R-Truth. And being that Johnny Curtis was the face on NXT, R-Truth was turning heel with his smoking thing. Speaking of smoking, I found a Randy Orton video that I will post tomorrow night where he was actually smoking. There was some fans piled around his house, I believe, and there was also security there. Well, he went up with security and was asking fans for a cigarette. Also, he was signing autographs while he was smoking a cigarette. You couldn't see him actually put it in his mouth until he turned around, and he had it in his mouth and smoking while he was still signing autographs as he walked away. The whole video was like about 56 seconds. I'll show that tomorrow night. Okay, Michael Cole had his Extreme Rules tag team partner Jack Swagger join him as a woman who looked vaguely like Queen of England enter the ring and knight him on last week's episode of Raw. The entire segment was cut from the encore telecast on Sky Sports in the United Kingdom, as well as most references to it. This was not the only segment cut from the replay, as R-Truth smoking a cigarette was also edited out. Donald Moore, a.k.a. Dr. Cable Jones, who was released from his developmental contract with WWE in November, is considering resuming his wrestling career on the independent scene after undergoing major shoulder surgery. Thanks to Don Tickle for sending that in. Raw crew concluded their near 2-week-long international tour through the week and in Qatar. Shows, however, will be without the sexy, smart, powerful WWE divas, as they were already headed home, because in Qatar they are prohibited from wearing clothing that doesn't cover their legs or shoulders in public. Qatar is an Islamic country with strict dress laws. Eve Torres and the Bella Twins, among others, have already flown back to the United States. Scott Hall was released from the hospital earlier today or yesterday. His ex-wife commented on his health. Dana Hall on her Facebook or Twitter, whichever one it was, told Mike Mooneyham of the Post and Courier that her ex-husband, Scott Hall, now has little contact with her children, being 16-year-old daughter, Cassidy, and 19-year-old son, Cody. He hasn't seen Cassidy since 2010, she said. I don't think he's even seen Cody in almost 2 years. They may have had one or two brief phone calls since then, but nothing that she is aware of. Dana, who fears that her children suffered irreparably from the dysfunction of the family, says her son won't communicate with his father until Scott gets in rehab and away from the enablers he is with. He calls inconsistently and texts him, and Cody doesn't respond. They hold it in. They hate to talk about it, but they accept that that they don't have a father or a normal life. Last time they talked to him face to face was when she took Cassidy to the hospital to tell him goodbye last August. It was a horrible scene. He had been doing crack cocaine for days and had used all the money in the account that he wrote the child support check on, and it bounced. I have cut off his contact with me and the kids and ignore his calls, texts messages to me. We are 99% negative, and that which are normally 99% negative whenever he is drunk. At this point, they have no contact with her. He has no contact with her unless she knows his intentions, such as and actions speak louder than words. Kevin Nash stated last week in a blog post that Hall's problems go beyond substance addiction. His issues, Nash says, are based on events that happened before his wrestling career even started, and Hall's only coping mechanism is turning to drugs and alcohol. I can tell you Scott Hall has neither a drug or alcohol addiction. Scott's problem is he suffers from post-traumatic stress disorder. Drugs and alcohol aren't the problem. To Scott, they are the solution, Nash wrote. Please don't judge Scott on what you just saw or heard from me. I would give any of you a kidney. He's my brother, and he will get through this. Dana, however, believes Scott is running out of options. Pretty much what we're doing. Her brothers are done. His brothers are done. His mother is worried, sick, feeling helpless, and they try to live life as he's already dead until he does something really bad, and then it's kind of hard to ignore. Hall's son Cody accompanied Nash to the hospital for a brief visit on Thursday this past week. Dana updated her Twitter page today when news was Scott is out of the hospital finally, but has not entered into treatment program. Okay, other news. John Miller, who is currently starring on Oxygen's Love Games, Bad Girls Need Love Too reality show, and has wrestled for Ohio Valley Wrestling, plus WWE's Florida Championship Wrestling, told News and Tribune.com that he will be at Extreme Rules next week, as well as WWE's TV tapings during the following week. So he's trying to guarantee that he's got a WWE spot. He also wrote on Twitter, 11 more days till I go on a 4-day tour with WWE. I'm going to get a job and hopefully sign a contract. Wish me luck, everyone. I'm booked for WWE pay-per-view in Tampa on May 1st. Then I will be in Miami, Florida, May 2nd for Monday Night Raw, which is The Rock's birthday. Then May 3rd, Orlando for SmackDown. WWE's upcoming Night of Champions pay-per-view event, which was previously listed on the event's listing page, www.livetour.com has been removed. So, look for it to change names. The buy number for last year's show was 36.7% from the previous year, 267,000 buys to 169,000 buys. Meanwhile, the WWE recently issued an online survey asking fans to give their thoughts on the following new pay-per-view titles: WWE Uprising, WWE Vengeance, WWE Champions, still you got the Night of Champions, or WWE Revolution. Raw opened tonight with a 20-man Raw vs. SmackDown Battle Royal. Action is already in progress as Jerry Lawler, Josh Matthews, and Michael Cole are on commentary. Raw stars team together and eliminate Kane. Big Show and Great Khali go at it. Drew McIntyre and Heath Slater help out to eliminate Khali. McIntyre works on Daniel Bryan as as Evan Bourne, and Slater go at it. Vladimir Kozlov is eliminated. Ezekiel Jackson is eliminated by Mark Henry. And Bourne, Brodus Clay, and Cody Rhodes work on eliminating Sheamus, but he hangs on. Slater is eliminated. Henry eliminates Chris Masters. Wade Barrett gets dumped by Ted DiBiase. Ted and Kofi Kingston go at it now. Ted is eliminated. Henry and Clay both go at it. And they both, Yoshitatsu is eliminated by Big Show. Sheamus is eliminated by Drew as we go to commercial. Back from the break, Bryan has Big Show in a sleeper hold. Show falls back on Bryan. It's down to 4 versus 4 now. Mason Ryan and Kofi go at it. Bourne eliminates McIntyre. Santino Marella holds on and goes for the Cobra on Big Show. But Show uses the Cobra and gets against him, and Santino is eliminated. Mason tosses Cody Rhodes out. Kofi eliminates Bryan. It's down to Bourne and Mason versus Kofi and Big Show. Mason and Show go at it while Kofi and Bourne do. Kofi hangs on and goes at it with Bourne on the apron. Bourne counters Kofi and hangs on. They trade moves on the apron, and it's very impressive. Bourne leaps for Mason's shoulders into Show. Show catches him, throws him over the top. Bourne is eliminated. Kofi leaps at Mason now. Show comes over and eliminates Mason to give SmackDown the win. Winners in Team SmackDown, Big Show and Kofi Kingston. SmackDown has earned the first draft pick for tonight. Kofi and Show wait in the ring for the draft ticker to appear, and it's John Cena. John Cena has been drafted to SmackDown. We see the entire locker room looking shocked backstage. Cena's music hit. Out he comes to a massive pop. Cena puts on a SmackDown shirt and shows it off as the crowd pops. Let's go to commercial. Back from break, Todd Grisham is backstage with John Cena. Cena says Sci-Fi is happy because the biggest moment in WWE history just happened. Cena is pumped and the crowd pops. Cena talks about adapting to changes and says he will walk out of Extreme Rules as the WWE Champion, bringing the title to back to SmackDown. WWE Champion Miz walks up and the crowd boos. Miz mocks Cena and says after Sunday, when it comes to Raw, he can't see him. We go to Lawler, Cole, and Matthews at ringside. Michael Cole, Jim Ross, and singles action is announced for tonight as we go to break. So I guess they're not using the, if the champion is drafted, that he takes the belt with him instead. Well, long story short, none of the champions are moving. Okay, R-Truth comes out to the stage and gets mixed reaction. He tells the crowd to shut up and says that they should be booing themselves. Truth starts talking about John Morrison, and then the crowd is pissed off at what he has to say. Truth is trying to talk, but the crowd is all over him. Truth says he lost last week because of the fans. Truth says he spent his whole entire career trying to be for the fans, and it's just got him nowhere. Truth mocks the kids wanting him to rap and dance. Truth says he is officially giving everyone the boot. Truth says bye to the fans in several different ways and tells them to boot themselves again. Truth says for the first time in his life, the Truth has set him free. John Morrison comes out and attacks R-Truth from behind. Morrison mounts Truth on the ramp and unloads with the right hand until the referees come down and separate him. Well, didn't last very long. Morrison backs off, but runs back into Truth and tackles Truth again. Morrison is taken back again, and they cut to commercial. Back for commercial, they get another vignette of the former Awesome Kong. She flicks the head off of a blonde doll again, and she's squeezing the doll and just flicks the head off. And then they pan up slowly, and you see her face. And then her name, Karma, as I said last week. Eve versus Layla was next up. Michelle McCool was at ringside, and hey, what have you? Go to the ring. Eve Torres is in the ring, representing Raw. Out comes next SmackDown Diva Layla. Michelle McCool comes out several steps behind Layla, looks at her disapprovingly. We go to clips of McCool's attack on Layla from Friday SmackDown. Eve and Layla lock up. Layla strikes first. Michael Cole starts talking on the microphone, interrupting the match. As Layla and McCool have words with each other, Eve takes advantage and rolls up Layla for the win. Winner, Eve Torres. Michael Cole is still blabbing on. Cole says he is going to put on a wrestling clinic tonight as he takes out Jim Ross. Cole heads to the back as Layla looks upset in the ring. Michelle McCool taunts her. Layla goes to the floor and shoves McCool's body down. Layla comes back and unloads on McCool, slamming her head back into the fan barrier twice. Layla then slams McCool into the apron. Layla starts crying and says she's sick of this. Layla throws McCool over the announcer's table and goes down hard as she hits the floor with her elbow. Layla is still crying as McCool tries to get up. Draft ticker starts up again, and this time it's Rey Mysterio going to Raw. We see the locker room backstage cheering Rey on. Rey's music hits. Out he comes to the stage. Rey throws on a Raw t-shirt as the crowd pops. We see Jim Ross backstage warming up, and they cut to commercial. Back from the break, Cody Rhodes is backstage with Todd Grisham. Cody says now that he and Mysterio aren't on the same brand, he's got a present for him after their match at Extreme Rules. Cody is going to give Rey a new mask. The mask is an anesthesiologist puts on his face before he's wheeled into surgery. And up next is Kofi Kingston versus Sheamus. We go to the ring, and out comes Kofi for the SmackDown brand. Out next is his opponent, the United States champion, Sheamus. Bell rings, and Sheamus takes it to the corner. Beating Kofi down, Sheamus drops a series of knees, drives one down into Kofi's head. Sheamus with a big forearm to the chest. Sheamus goes to the apron and slingshots himself into Kofi for a 2 count. Sheamus takes it to the mat for a minute and then whips Kofi into the corner. Kofi moves out of the way. Sheamus hits the ring post. Kofi goes to the top with a crossbody for a 2 count. Kofi leaps on Sheamus in the corner with right hand. Sheamus comes out of it with a big clothesline. Sheamus goes for his finisher, but Kofi slides out and ducks the brogue kick. And Kofi hits a head-to-head Trouble in Paradise for the win. Kick to the head. So, Kofi Kingston gets another SmackDown pick. Kofi celebrated in the ring, and as the draft lottery screen shows, and we see the SmackDown roster backstage having fun. This time, Randy Orton goes from Raw to SmackDown. Orton comes out with a big pop. Someone threw a SmackDown t-shirt. This SmackDown t-shirt didn't even barely cover his belly button. Come on, people. Get the right size. Because this was not the only one that the shirts were actually too small. specifically, I believe John Cena's was small. Let's see, what else? Randy Orton was supporting a beard. It's like a 5 o'clock shadow. And a Hulk Hogan-like tan body. So I guess when he was overseas, he got a tan. Okay, up next was the Cole versus Ross. There's the way went. They go to commercial. Back from break, and out comes Jack Swagger and Michael Cole. Jim Ross is out next with a big pop. Cole is wearing his singlet, and Ross is wearing pants with a Sooners jersey, black jeans, and with a cowboy hat. Cole mocks Ross after the ring bell. There's a lot of stalling here. Cole gets Ross' cowboy hat from the ringside, stomps on it inside the ring. Lawler and Swagger offer advice for their teammates. Ross finally grabs Cole and shoves him into the mat. Cole takes a seat on the stool in the corner after maybe a push or a shove. Time out, time out. Well, anyways, here we go. Back to the match. Lawler and Swagger, I already did that. Ross finally grabs Cole and shoves him to the mat. Cole takes a seat on the stool in the corner as Swagger comes in and gives him water bottle. Ross finally gets some offense in on Cole. Cole runs out of the ring, but Lawler throws him back in. Ross stomps on Cole. Swagger comes over and throws Lawler into the ring post. Beats him down. Swagger runs in and attacks Jim Ross for the disqualification. Winner by DQ, Jim Ross. Well, I guess there was no draft pick for this match. Swagger came in and beats on JR. Cole looks on. Cole is bleeding from his mouth pretty bad. Swagger takes off JR's belt and hands it to Cole. Cole is pissed about his face being busted open. Because at first it looked like a real thick bottle of, not bottle, but ketchup. You know, like McDonald's and Burger King have the squeeze. Peel and squeeze. Well, that's what it looked like. Alright, Swagger puts the ankle lock on JR again as Cole whips him with a belt. Lawler runs back in the ring now and grabs the belt as Swagger is out. Lawler pulls Cole back by the leg and starts whipping him with a belt. Cole escapes from the ring and runs off with Swagger, holding his backside. Raw GM chimes and it's announced that Swagger and Cole versus JR and Lawler at Extreme Rules will be a country whipping match. JR and Lawler like the sound of this and celebrate to the Boomer Sooner music. Backstage with Scott Stanford, Miz and Alex Riley. Miz talks about The Rock's birthday. Next week's Raw, Miz talks about winning at Extreme Rules also. Time for another break. Randy Orton versus Dolph Ziggler. Randy Orton wins, obviously, and Ziggler still has his hair dyed again, a little bit darker this time. It looks brown. Go to the ring. Orton is out for the SmackDown brand. Ziggler is in the ring waiting. This match is for 2 draft picks. They lock up and go at it. Lots of back and forth action to start. Ziggler with 2 counts as he's taking control of the match. They go to the floor. Ziggler puts on thumb in Orton's eye. Ziggler drop kicks Orton back into the fan barrier and goes back into the ring as the referee starts his 10 count. Orton's back in and unloads on Ziggler with right hands and clotheslines. Orton with a snap slam. Orton hits the angle slam before a closed 2 count. Orton is ready to end it and goes for the RKO, but is distracted by Vicky Guerrero temporarily. Ziggler rolls Orton for a 2 count. Orton comes right back with an RKO for the win. Directly after the match, they go to the draft picker again. CM Punk comes out to the stage to interrupt, saying the draft can wait because the most important man on TV has something to say. Punk talks about Orton at Extreme Rules and saying that they're going to get nasty this Sunday. Orton says that he will miss some things about being on Raw but one of them won't be hearing Punk ramble on and on. Orton says Punk will be sleeping after this Sunday because he will be the last man standing. Orton's music hits and he and Punk taunt each other. And we get the draft picks after the commercial break. Back from commercial break. Mark Henry is announced first and then Sin Cara. And then we'll be going to SmackDown. Wade Barrett versus Rey Mysterio is up. The next match is for 2 more draft picks. As the Intercontinental Champion comes out first. Out next is the Raw with Rey Mysterio. So Rey Mysterio is wrestling for Raw in this match. Bell rings and Barrett strikes first. Rey counters and hits Barrett with kicks and rights. Barrett counters now and hits Rey with a big side slam for a 2 count. Barrett mounts Rey with right hands now and argues with the referee. This was his only offense. Wade stomps away on Rey now. Barrett puts a submission on, but Rey fights out. Rey with kicks and a big crossbody for a 2 count. Rey gets caught again and rammed back into the corner. But when Wade dropped him, his butt hit the second rope. His back never touched the back of the turnbuckle. So obviously the move didn't do very much to him. Barrett takes Rey to the top. Rey jumps on his back, and Barrett ends up on the side of the corner near the turnbuckle, and then as Rey's going to the other before his classic 619, Barrett sliding himself over to position for the 619. And that to me, like I said, it was about 4 or 5 minutes match. After the match, Rey celebrated as Raw finally gets some picks. They go to the draft picker, and this time it's Big Show coming to Raw. Show's music comes out, and again, Big Show's shirt, as the announcer said, 5X, well, it's still too small. And the next up is Del Rio is coming to Raw. His music hits, but he doesn't come out. We see Del Rio, Ricardo Rodriguez, and Brodus Clay backstage arguing. Del Rio seems upset. Clay asks, what about him? What about them? And we go to commercial with Del Rio talking to Ricardo in Spanish. Back from the break, Michael Cole has rejoined commentary. Cole has a black eye and his mouth is busted. They run down the Extreme Rules card. Teddy Long comes out to announce the main event. It will be a 6-man match, changed from the original tag team match, for the final draft pick. CM Punk, Alberto Del Rio, and The Miz versus Christian, Mark Henry, and John Cena. Out first is Team Raw. Miz and Riley was first. They hit the ring to go to the commercial. Teddy Long comes out to the stage and announces tonight's main event. Okay. There's a 6-man for the final draft pick. CM Punk, Alberto Del Rio, and The Miz versus Christian, Mark Henry, and John Cena. Okay. Out first, Team Raw, Champion Miz and Alex Riley. Miz music hits and go to commercial. Back from the break, and out comes CM Punk to join The Miz in the ring. Ricardo Rodriguez comes in and begs for the microphone. He wants to introduce Alberto Del Rio himself, even though he's not going to be with him anymore, supposedly. And he's driving a Porsche, a new Porsche, into the arena. Out comes Mark Henry, followed by Christian, and finally John Cena. Cena comes out to a big pop for the SmackDown team. Christian and Miz start things off. Miz takes Christian down first, and they go to lock up again, and Miz kicks him in the gut. They run the ropes, and Christian takes Miz down. Cena's tagged in, and Miz runs out of the ring real quick, and they go to commercial as Cena tells Miz. Back from break, and Cena's unloading on Punk. Henry comes in and clotheslines Punk in the corner. Henry stands on Punk's back, and in comes Christian. Christian works over Punk now. Christian goes for the finisher, but Punk counters and goes for the GTS. Del Rio distracts Christian. Christian turns around and took a shot from Punk. Del Rio is tagged in, drop kicks Christian, and gets a 2 count. Del Rio with right hands on Christian now. Miz comes back in and applies a chin lock on Christian. Christian starts fighting out, but can't make the tag. Punk is tagged back in now, and he kicks Christian around. 2 count for Punk. The assault continues on Christian as the Miz comes back in to take over. Miz hits the big clothesline in the corner, but only gets a 2 count. Del Rio comes in and hits the armbar drop for a 2 count. Del Rio back to work on Christian's arm. They go to the top rope. Christian knocks Del Rio back to the mat. Christian nails a big DDT from the top rope. Team Raw celebrates in the ring. As the Miz music plays, they go to the draft picker. I didn't get the... I'll just tell you what happened. Well, Cena was tagged in, and he nailed his 5-knuckle shuffle and goes for an attitude adjustment. But Mark Henry turns on him. Thus, Miz getting the 3 count on Cena. So, Team Raw celebrates in the ring, and Miz music plays. They go draft picker, and again, this time it's John Cena is back on Raw. Cena clears the ring. Just as the picker is stopped and got him. He hits the 5-knuckle shuffle in on the Miz and the attitude adjustment. Cena celebrates. They close Raw with a Raw t-shirt on now. This one actually fits him. The Miz recovers at ringside and Cena poses as Raw goes off the air, and that ends the show. Stay tuned for next week's, tomorrow night's SmackDown event and SmackDown supporter for Superstars.